Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored once again to join the discussion of another motion. The motion for the debate now is that this House believes that the feminist movement should aggressively oppose the K-pop industry, and today this statement must be supported. Why? Why should this be supported? First, in reaction to the opposition statement that the K-pop industry should be treated as in the same way as the other Western entertainment industries is already incorrect because and it is incorrect and unfair because the K-pop industry is already influential in its own right. The content that they give is already different than the ones the Western entertainment industries give. Even though the theme is the same, but how they show it is already different, and so treating it as another, treating it the same as the other Western entertainment industries is already invalid. Now, I've already mentioned before that K-pop industry is quite influential. Now, through this influence, they already give out more diverse beauty options, more diverse beauty alternatives. That part is true. However, due to the influence, due to the fame that the K-pop industry gained globally, the beauty alternatives are not really alternatives. They are not really options. They are not really different types of beauty, but rather they have become beauty standards of their own. Therefore, because K-pop is an influential industry, as such, because of this, the beauty options that they espouse already become standards. They become global standards that one must imitate. Now, should the feminist move? It is already clear that the feminist movement should oppose that, but should they aggressively oppose it only with this immediate threat of standardization? The answer is that they should aggressively oppose it, not only because of the immediate threat of standardization, but also how the women are treated in the K-pop industry. If one notices in the K-pop songs, girls there wear skimpy outfits and dance in a cute manner, which degrades them into less than we humans and more into objects. Moreover, the industry is also well known for its very strict rules regarding physical features, such as constant weighing of the body and even forced plastic surgery. This kind of action is already goes against the feminist agenda, which means that the feminist movement should aggressively oppose the K-pop industry, not only with standardization but also how these women are treated. Naturally, the K-pop industry represents more representation, and so such, the opposition puts out an example of BTS being in Grammys. This is not a relevant example, as this is geared more towards attracting viewers due to political reasons. Yes, it is more for more representations, but the purpose is only for more diverse representations and not to encouragement of diverse beauty. So, in terms of encouraging diverse beauty, the BTS being in Grammys is not a relevant example. And so it does not support the fact that the feminist movement should not go against the K-pop industry. The K-pop industry promotes Korean economy. They promote tourism and they promote drama. It is all indeed all well and good, but this only serves to entrench the idea that through this promotion they are exporting these beauty standards. They are exporting these beauty options, or rather, now they are beauty standards to the whole world, making beauty that is shown in K-pop to be a global standard that everyone must imitate or adhere to. Now, naturally, K-pop is only one of the industries to do this, and the opposition says that okay, then it should not. Then it should be more focused on the beauty standards rather than just focusing on K-pop itself. But one must remember that K-pop is the one behind these beauty standards. So, in order for the feminist movement to focus on eliminating this threat of standardization of beauty, they must focus on the culprit, the one behind encouraging these standards, and the culprit is K-pop. They are the ones influencing the beauty standards these days. And so, by going against K-pop, the feminist movement can already make an effect on the how beauty standards are seen today. Now, K-pop, one can already argue that K-pop satisfy the demands of customers. However, yes, they satisfy the demands of the customers around the world. Yes, but even if they demand it, that does not remove the fact that the K-pop influences today's views on beauty. So yes, they satisfy the demands of customers, but they still influence these views on beauties, especially the customers' demands that may entail from their need to see more of these beauty standards that they have to imitate or that they have to adhere to. So these demands for them to see, oh, I want to see more of these beauty standards. I want to see more of these. It already shows that they are already that it already shows that K-pop already espouses beauty standards. And blaming someone for being indecisive for beauty standards is unreasonable and absurd. In today's digital era, everyone's decisions are influenced in one way or another by external factors, and with the growing presence of K-pop in the world, everyone will certainly be indecisive on whether or not to adhere to these beauty standards. Lastly, feminist movement, as mentioned by the opposition, seen as radical for opposing a specific industry is incorrect and invalid, as radical is a term that is usually defined for an extreme form of something. Dealing with an immediate threat or dealing with an immediate event is nothing radical, but rather seen as reactive. And so, for all of these reasons, the motion, this statement must be supported, and the motion must stand. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this House believes that the feminist movement should not aggressively oppose the K-pop industry. First, feminists has a goal so that females and males has the equal rights. But now, if we want to ban K-pop, that means that we should ban a certain culture. And we should take away the rights of a certain culture and country. And that means that we are going in a somewhat opposite direction from the goals that feminism is trying to achieve. The next thing is that we should identify what is the main problem that we want to solve here. The main problem is that many of the females are getting insecure because of the existing unrealistic beauty standards around the world. And banning K-pop will not stop the unrealistic beauty standard from existing around the world, because other countries has their own standard and it will still appear. And if we're talking about the industry that has a high unrealistic standard of beauty, it is much more concerning in the modeling industry. And instead of solving the problem, banning K-pop will decrease the diversity of the beauty that we can see in the entertainment industry. The second thing is that, as I mentioned, that the main problem is the unrealistic beauty standard that exists. This means that the K-pop itself doesn't have any problem. Like the K-pop, the music, or even the lyrics is not having any problem. They don't give bad message, or there's nothing wrong about that. And even some of the K-pop is giving positive message to the listener. And the problem is only about the unrealistic beauty that actually exists in many cultures, not only in the K-pop, in many industry too. And that is very wrong for us to ban a certain culture for a certain culture just because of that, even though like any other culture has that. And instead of banning a certain culture, it is better for us to promote more and ban the unhealthy extreme diet, and the unrealistic food editing in photos. And this could actually be more effective than banning a certain culture, because then this could be applied in any culture around the world, in any industry around the world. You could start a new era of entertainment industry where there should be limitation on how the photo should be edited, and also there should be limitations about the diet that talent can do, how they should not go for very extreme, so that the confidence of these females can be encouraged and they will feel comfortable in their own self, and also the healthier beauty standard can be shown in the world. The next thing is that, as you mentioned, that K-pop is having a very big influence. This means that banning K-pop requires us to oppose many parties, and that doesn't seem realistic. And the society will have a very bad response. Even many businesses in Indonesia is actually profited by K-pop. For example, the recent BTS meal in McDonald's, it is also profited by K-pop by the BTS itself. And the next thing is that actually K-pop is one of the evidence where feminism is actually applied. In the K-pop industry, there are many girl groups, and this shows that us as female can also have can also have has an influence around the world, to be creative, to have a career, to earn money, to have a high income. Even some of the girl groups has higher incomes than some of the boy groups, and this could really encourage the girls to be creative, to have a career, and that is where what feminism is about. And that's why it will be such a disadvantage to block or to ban the K-pop. And the next thing is that if you're saying about role model, actually all of these people can have their own preferences about who they want to be. They have their own preferences about this, and people will not just have one role model like K-pop, only K-pop as a role model, because there are many other entertainers from many other countries and many other industries. And the next thing is, because if we ban K-pop, as a feminist, we ban K-pop, the feminist movement should ban K-pop, then this will create a bad image of feminists in the K-pop, or even not only in the K-pop itself, not only in the Korea or the K-pop industry, but also in several countries where there are many K-pop fans. Meaning that us as feminists will have a bad image and have less support for that. And there are gonna be many people that oppose us as a feminist because they think that we have a bad intention. There will be misconception on that. So those are the reason why I believe that feminist movement should not aggressively oppose K-pop industry. It is simply taking away the country's rights, and also it is not going in a right approach. It is not solving the main problems, and much better approach like changing the entertainment industry itself is much better. Thank you.